Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris with Kristen's Crafts, and today I am bringing you another process video for the How to Kill a Kit with Style for February 2023. Again, this month we are, actually this year we're going with themes, and this month is vintage. Now some people are going with vintage paper. I am going with kind of vintage feel for my paper, but I'm also scrapbooking some heritage photos of my family. So today's photo is one of my mom's dad, my grandfather on my mother's side, and he is with his mother, Anna. So I thought it was a sweet picture of a mom with her holding her baby by the flowers, and I just wanted to make it a sweet vintage style layout. So I'm again using this paper pad that I got from my sister. I think it's Stampabilities, possibly, and it's got that lovely wood grain with the weathered roses all over it, and then the bird cages. I still had a 4x12 piece of paper from the other layout I made that has those green blue tones to it, kind of a burlappy look, or fabric texture in the background. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that along with the matting the photo with the pink Echo Park and then this My Mind's Eye in gold. I'm going to go ahead and I've tore part of the edges and I roughed them up with my distress tool, and I'm inking them all with vintage photo distress ink from Tim Holtz, and giving it again more of that worn, weathered look. I want it to kind of have the feel like it's been sitting in a scrapbook for many years and not just recently scrapbooked in 2023. The photo was taken in 1912, so I want it to have that kind of a feel like maybe my grandmother had scrapbooked it and put it into her album, and I'm just moving it over. Now, obviously, it will have some more modern touches with some of the label stickers and things like that that weren't available then, but it's the feel that I'm going for. Another thing I like to do on my layouts is I like to tear a little section out of the back corner as if the page is ripped and it's peeking out to another, over to another page where, that gold is behind. After I've got that piece out, glued on, I'm going and taking the vintage distress ink and going all the way around the whole layout to, again, just bring everything together. Now I have these word phrases from Rosie Studio that have the gold covering on them, and I really like the word lovely. I wasn't really sold on having it up here, and you're going to see shortly I'm going to take it off and move it and then rearrange everything around, and it ends up not even looking like I'm starting. The next thing I'm looking for is something that I can bring more of these florals in, and I absolutely adore 49th and Market, these laser die cuts. If I could just have only these in my stash, I think I would be a happy person. They are just so delicate and beautiful and just so fun to work with. So if you have an opportunity to pick them up, if you're the type like me that loves that floral look, these are just exquisite. So I'm going and taking the pink viney one, and it's going up the right hand side, and I'm going to have this little dandelion poking out from behind. I'm then building a cluster with the pink and the yellows going to the upper left, and then I'm going to build to the bottom right where I have those other ones going up where the torn edge is. Now the yellow is a little bit brighter than some of the yellows that you see in the tones in the background, but because I'm bringing it throughout the layout and I have that matting of that goldenrod yellow, it all works out in the end, and I just think it turned out beautiful. So one of the other things I liked in these die cut elements is this, it looks like lace, and it's just in the perfect, like a smoky blue. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a small piece and layer that behind the upper part of the photo cluster, and then you'll see in the end I'll put another one at the bottom. So now I'm just going and re-gluing everything back down I realized I didn't ink these, so I will go back and pull them up and add some more distress ink on all of the flowered edges. In addition to that, I am going to take some of the pop dots that I have, and I'm just going to pop up edges. One of the things that Vicki Boutin does that I love is she doesn't pop the whole element up. She might like glue down one half and then pop up a side, and it just allows it a little bit of dimension so that it lifts off the page, adds a little shadowing behind, and is really love how this looks. So I'm going to take a tip out of her book and just adding some pop dots here and there to bring up certain buds and flowers, but not the whole die cut. And it looks more realistic when you do that versus having the whole thing popped up on its own. So you can see here that like on that dandelion on the right hand side, I glued the stem down, but then the flower itself I have popped up. So here I'm taking the other part of the lace and I'm inking it, and I'm going to put it to the bottom of that photo, tucking it into the under the leaves of the photo cluster on the right. Now I have one more piece left of that lace, so I decide I'm going to tuck that in where I ripped it on the edge, so it's just peeking out. Now I did have some excess ATG that I just took my scissors and kind of pulled it out from between the holes of the lace just to not have the little gluey things on there. I grabbed this word phrase, I'm not sure what it said. I tried to pick things that were like remember the moment, things like that. You'll probably see them in the close-up. Just again, a special photo that I'm so happy that I have in my possession. I was able to get this either from my mom or my grandmother, and it just means the world to me to be able to see, those family members that you cherished in their early days before you were even a thought. So just going in, adding the butterflies. I'm grabbing another butterfly and I'm going to stick that up at the top along with 3 of these postage stamps. I grabbed the 2 in the pink, put them in the bottom 2 clusters, and then I'm going to grab one that has more of the yellow tones, and I'm going to ink that up and put that in the top cluster. And it just adds a little bit popping out. So here's where I'm going to go ahead and find one more butterfly. So now I have a butterfly in each of the clusters. I'm going to put that up there and bringing in a little pink and then popping up one of the wings like I did with the others. And now I feel like I need another little something more, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this flower and I'm going to tuck that into where the torn edge is, so it just has a little bit popping out. Here's where I'm going to take that phrase lovely and I'm going to stick it at the bottom where I think it fits better now, and then I'm going to add another one of those word phrases to go underneath it and ink it up. I think it says like lovely summer day or something like that, which, it looks like it would have been a lovely day with a mom and her baby. I had some enamel dots sitting on my desk. A couple of them were rather big, so I'm tucking them under the flowers and the top 2 clusters, and then the bottom one I have just the 2. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to find some of my gold thickers. And I find a font, took me a couple minutes, but I'm going to find a font that's kind of tall and skinny, and I'm going to spell out their last name, which was Stoll, and go ahead and put that at the top. I will end up shifting it over a little bit and then having to bring it down because these are very tall letters, and I wanted it all to fit into the space above the photo. So I'm shifting them over and starting them on the florals themselves. And then there's room for those last 2 L's. And here's where I have to just kind of pull everything down because they were a little high. And now that I have that, I'm grabbing these smaller fonts and I'm going to spell out Anna, which was my grandmother's name or great-grandmother's name, and Walter, who was my grandfather. Now I was kind of shocked, and you see me sitting here for a minute looking, but this font had punctuation marks like exclamation points and things, but it didn't have an ampersand. So off of the thicker sheet, I just grabbed a dot from there to separate the words Anna and Walter. And that is going to be it for my layout. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Here are some close-ups for you. Make sure you check out everyone else who's playing along this month with How to Kill a Kit with Style. And I'll see you again on my channel for another process video. Have a great day.